All right. Welcome. Hey, one of these days
that felt really long. I mean,
it
seriously.
did. One of these days I got
last week.
One of these days I got to put in some sound effects or something for when the veteran
dead,
suicide
like that.
Yeah, because
for like 3 seconds.
Well, it's all right for if you're watching the podcast on YouTube or something, you can read that. But if you're not, if you're like on Apple
Spotify,
Podcasts or whatever, everybody's just like, okay, what happens?
What's going on? When does the show start?
Yeah, so if you're listening, that's why there's a bunch of stuff, informational stuff on the screen. So, anyways, I digress. Welcome back, Sunday, beautiful Sunday evening in Middle Tennessee. It's a gorgeous day today.
It was.
Today we were sitting. Okay, if I butcher your name, don't get mad at me. But I have a daughter named Healey, so if I call you Healey, it's Healy, right?
Yes.
All right. If I call you Healey, my bad.
No,
and Healy, I just sent you an email signing up for the VFW, by the way.
Okay. Thank you. We'll grow that number then.
This evening we're sitting down with Healy. She is an Army veteran. She's an author. She's well educated. She does a lot of stuff. She's going to make us look like a couple of idiots today, but we'll try our best.
It's so not true.
Yeah, she got her resume, her CV is just family therapy, marriage counseling.
It's very impressive. It's going to be
good. You have
a
certificate in ministry?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Andrew here is
I'm a minister as well.
He married my daughter and her husband just a couple months ago.
I think I saw a podcast on that. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I just went through
that's really neat.
Discernment with the Episcopal Church, and I did not make the grade to wear the black shirt and the white collar, but I could be a deacon, which that's okay. I mean, I cut my church's grass today. It's on a block, and I did it with a push mower. Oh, I'm so tired. I'm exhausted.
That should give you the grade right there. I mean,
no, I can, I can't minister, to the Episcopalians, but I can definitely cut their grass and clean up after them.
Well, that's the important stuff.
Sorry. Had to get that off. I had to get that off my chest. I'm sorry.
Yeah. He's still fuming or something about
it. I'm still a little irate about that.
We're not bitter or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
No, me?
Hey,
bitter? No.
By the way, I believe she's like a therapist or something, man. She can listen
to
you if you need.
I know. I could go see. Hey, if your rate is pretty good, I mean, you might have a new patient. So.
Hey, you have a free hour with her right now, so we'll just turn it into your episode.
I told you I'd watched a few episodes before, and I think you did share that you have a post-traumatic stress and some anxiety. Yeah. So
I do. PTSD, 100%, total permanent unemployable. I'm a lot better. I haven't had a drink in 6 years. I'm a recovering alcoholic, a grateful recovering alcoholic. Went to Irreverent Warriors 3 years ago, and my life just went up like that.
Wow.
Save a Warrior.
Yeah, and if you've ever heard of it, you need to look into it. I can send you the links to it. But guys out there, if you want to get your life back, Save a Warrior. Or Camp Southern Ground, that's a good one too.
Yeah, it's a hard thing that veterans are dealing with. Well, I mean, everybody deals with stuff, but veterans especially. And I did some training after I started my private practice on just specifically helping veterans deal with trauma. Because it's I mean, I didn't experience wartime myself, but I did see the effects of it. So and it's obviously a soft spot in my heart for
well, that's a good segue. Let's hear. We could do announcements at the end, right, Fleek?
Yeah, we'll do the announcements at the end. Do us a favor, just introduce yourself, where you grew up, why you joined the third best?
The third best branch.
Third best branch.
Yeah, this is going to be embarrassing because my reason for signing up wasn't noble. But hopefully my ending was. But I grew up in Oklahoma. A very small little town, and my friend actually, after I graduated, she was going into the military and talked to me. It sounded like a good idea. Talked me into it. And I said, okay. We didn't go to the same basic or anything, but I was 17 at the time. So I had to have my parents sign the waiver. They weren't too thrilled about that, but I'm not sure, they had just divorced. So it was kind of a weird time anyway. So they're probably just glad I planned on doing something, because and that's probably why I joined, because I didn't have any plans. But it turned out just, and I'll say this because I like to tell this part of the story. When, they have a weight requirement when you're going in, at least the Army, they do.
Oh,
I don't know about other, but I had to weigh 106 pounds to get in. And my recruiter because I was so little, my recruiter would send me with like bananas and all this stuff for the night before at MEPS and 2 times I didn't pass. And then he bought me some weight gain. I know. And now I'm like, I can't lose a pound to save my life.
How freaking tiny were you?
Yeah, I was like 99 pounds. It was,
whoa. That's tiny. Yeah. Wow. I haven't been that weight since I was like 4 or 5.
Now I'm like, I could just somewhere near there would be great. But I actually did all my growing once I, got into the military. Then I got some height and some weight on me. But so I went in for, just because my friend had talked me into it, didn't know much about what I was going to study. I didn't know much about anything. I sent my recruiter a very nasty letter in basic training.
Oh,
I know.
Boy. You're one of them. Okay.
But I was so, and this is so sad because, and I'm so grateful for the military because, and the Army in particular, because I went in as this really naive young girl that didn't know anything. I mean, I didn't even know how long I'd signed up. Like, I knew nothing. And I came out, I just through basic and AIT had a real profound impact on me. And it really, this is, one of the things we learn in counseling is like, you gain confidence when you learn new skills. There's nothing like, I mean, I was angry at my recruiter, but seriously, I am so thankful that I did that. It was the best thing ever that brought out to me the person that God created me to be. That was what helped it come out, was just going through those hard things and physical challenges. Like, I mean, after you low crawl through some wood chips with your bare elbows, you're getting pretty confident that you can do a lot of things in life.
What were you angry about towards your recruiter?
Just because, and it's true, he didn't tell me a lot. He just was, it's like camp sort of thing. I really didn't have.
My recruiter says the same damn thing. Camp with guns. I was like, okay, sure, sign me up.
Camping with guns.
Sounds great. I mean, I had no idea. And so just physically, it was very challenging. But I mean, it wasn't undoable, though. They make it where you can do it. You just don't know you can do it at the time, which is what I really needed to know, that I could do stuff. And so that was really neat. And I came out of basic and AIT a very, I had a lot more confidence, not complete confidence like I do now, but it had grown significantly. So I was glad about that. And so in my MOS was 71 Lima Foxtrot 5, which is administrative specialist with a postal clerk identifier, because I had joined the reserve first. And then, so that was the unit that was in the area, was postal. So now this unit was great. We got to go to so many places in the US, and I went to Korea twice for my 2-week.
Well, that gets you in the VFW too. Were you there?
I was only there 2 weeks out of the, well, I guess it was a total of 4 weeks, because we
that'd
went
be 30
twice,
plus days.
87,
Boom.
Yeah,
That's
you're
another,
you're in
another
again.
reason to join the VFW.
Oh, goody.
And
So
back off, she's mine.
I went to so I was going to college because once I got out of basic training, my confidence was up. I had never dreamed of going to college, but thought, hey, I could do this. And I didn't do very good, mind you, but I did finish. So and after I graduated college, I ended up going active duty just because of it was really hard at the time to find jobs. And I thought, I think I'll go active duty. Like I liked the Army. I just became very, I don't know, patriotic. Maybe I didn't even know there was such a thing at 17. But I was willing to die for my country. It didn't take basic to get that into you. Like that was a really important place. So yeah. And then I went active duty and had a few duty stations after that. I went to Fort Drum, New York.
Thanks, Paul.
And when I was there, I wasn't even there 30 days and they sent me to Somalia and we finished
Camp
up.
Lamagna?
I don't think so. You mean in Somalia?
Mm.
No, I don't think that was the name of it. I'd have to look it up, but I don't remember. We were there at the very end part. And that was, I'm telling you, I would remember writing in my journal just because like I worked the night shift there and I worked in, I think it was communication security, somewhere with confidential stuff. So I had to work over the burn pit, When I went to Fort Drum, and this is not to bash any infantry guys, but they they assigned me to the infantry unit.
Easy.
Bash them.
My name was Healy Ikerd, and not that you could tell by last name anyway, but they thought I was a guy. And so they assigned me to the infantry unit there at Fort Drum. I guess they didn't look at my paperwork because when I showed up, they were like this, like, what are you doing here? Because it was all guys. And so
it's changed now in the Marine Corps. We can have women now in the infantry.
Yeah. I was just doing administrative stuff, so I don't know why that was a big deal, but so that was my first active duty assignment. And I'm telling you, they gave me a run for my money. Like they did not want me there. And I'm quite certain that's why they said, send Healy to, or, specialist something to Somalia, within shortly after I got there. And then I got all the grunt jobs in Somalia. On base. Yeah. So I was, night shift.
Yep.
So you had to sleep during the day with the sand flying around. Like it was, I just wrote in my journal that I'm never taking a bed for granted again. I'm never, clean eyes and nose and ears. Like,
hey, you didn't have to shave your face like dry razor. Like my first sergeant was like, hey, you got 5 o'clock shower. You need to go shave your face. I'm like, first sergeant, we're in the desert. There's no water. I mean, come on, man. Dry shave.
Sections out here? I don't think so.
Yeah, that sucked. That was terrible.
Yeah.
Thank you, First Sergeant Guzman, wherever you are.
I have a few sergeants I'd like to thank for all my hard. Yeah, but again, it was a growing experience. I really like after it's over how those things really stretched me, how to still be a good soldier when they're giving you a hard time on purpose, like they really don't want you there. And it took one of my sergeants actually told me, he said, yes, we didn't want you there, and you did well under all the pressure we put you under, because if they needed someone to guard the bags, they'd send me. They needed someone to stir the pit, they'd send me. So I can't say I was like doing it with a smile on my face, but I tried to.
Oh no, they made me fill sandbags all the time before we went into the chow hall. I was like, fuck this. You got to fill 10 bags before you go in, eat, and then come out and then do another 10 bags. Why? That's stupid.
Well,
we have HESCO barriers all over the base.
Well, that's pretty much, I think, military. They do have a lot of jobs, just that you think.
Yeah,
But I
they do.
remember thinking, why are we? I mean, and not that wasn't just me. That was like everybody. Like, why are we doing this? Like, is this busy work?
Yeah.
What does this have to do with preparing for war?
Ditch
So,
digger
yeah.
extraordinaire.
Yeah. So I put in some paperwork after I'd been at Fort Drum for a year. I got pregnant and had a son, and then put in paperwork to leave. And I requested an overseas assignment, and they denied it. They said no. The next higher up said no. Uh, Whoever was the final authority was the only one that said yes. And so I got sent to Naples, Italy, and worked with NATO.
Nice.
Very
And so,
nice.
yeah, there I worked with the
Damn.
Marines, Navy, Air Force, the whole kit and caboodle. It was, and the military from all the other countries too, because there was a lot of different countries there. It was really neat. It was fun, and again, I did a lot of.
How long were you in Naples?
For 3 years. I ended up getting my first master's degree there too.
Your
so-
first? How many
Yeah.
do you have?
2.
See?
I have
Yeah.
one, but
Yeah, see? I don't
I have
have
one,
any.
but I don't use it.
Well, that one got me interested in counseling, and then when I got home, I thought, oh, I think I really would like to do counseling, but then found out there's like you have to do a whole, but basically a whole nother master's program to do that. And so I did that. So that's only the reason why, but I do love learning and just,
Now you're it says on your CV that you're a marriage counselor as well, correct?
Mm-hmm. So that program I went into, they had a dual track, and you study marriage and family therapy as well as individual.
Are you a LADAC or like a licensed alcohol and substance abuse counselor as well?
No, I do a little bit of that, but
Okay.
if it's really normally when it's not when it's full blown addiction. No, maybe I've had a couple.
We just said that, Paul. Come on, catch up. Come on, Chief. Sorry.
Is that me or is that
chiming in like every 5 minutes?
Okay, my master's degree. Oh, and get this. Now, this is the way God works. This is to me so powerful. So I was in Naples, and they had some different degree programs, and so I chose the master's program in human relations from the University of Oklahoma. So the professors would fly into, I mean, what a gig. They'd fly into Naples and have our classes. I know. I was like, I want that gig.
What?
Yeah, that's how they did it. It was, oh yeah. So we got the professors from OU. Anyway, it was great, I have to say. And then my second degree is from John Brown University in Siloam Springs, which is not too far from me. And that's a Christian university, and that was community counseling and marriage and family counseling. So that's what that degree is in. Yeah. And then my undergrad degree is in broadcast journalism.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
you can see I followed that track.
Of course. Yeah. Well, hey, you've got the voice, you've got the journalistic integrity. I can already see it. I can feel it, even though I'm not in the same room as you. I can feel it.
Sending vibes.
I can feel the vibes. And are you a minister too?
No, I was. I studied the certificate of ministry. Basically, I was kind of wanting to do, and then I changed denominations. But I was on the track to do the lay pastoral.
Mm-hmm.
Where you go into churches on a visiting basis. Yeah. And I was elder of our church, but once you change denominations, it's completely different.
What did you change to, if you don't mind me asking?
To Baptist.
Southern or regular?
Southern, I believe.
You
don't hold it against.
No, not at all. You would be very welcome here in Tennessee because we have a lot of Southern Baptists.
Well, I'm still
no offense to Southern Baptists. I like them. I do.
So it's changed over about 10 years ago. So I'm still learning. I feel like I'm brand new because I grew up, it was the Presbyterian faith, and I grew up like 2-3 years old. I was in church there. So I know that faith a lot, and I don't know this one as well. I mean, and that's just really kind of political stuff. It's not really the basis of faith, because that's,
Oh yeah, no, of course.
yeah. So
I mean, I'm an Episcopalian. I've been so since 43 years since I was baptized, and I went to 7:30 service this morning after I cut the grass in
wow.
my utilities. Like, I wore my utilities to cut the grass, and so I go into church and I'm wearing my U.S. Marine desert camis and boots, and people are like, "Who the hell is it?" Oh, Andrew, you're the junior warden. Hey, how are you? This is a different look. Usually you're in a suit and tie.
You
Hey,
said, "Look, I'm just living out scripture."
I still fit into them, so
Yeah, that's
it
nice.
felt good to put on again.
Can you guess if I fit into my stuff?
Yeah, I bet you do.
No, I don't.
You
Not even
don't?
Whatever.
close.
Whatever. Yeah, you're lying.
I don't.
Yeah, whatever.
No, I I won't tell you how much weight I've gained, but I'm sad to say I can't get into any of my stuff. I could probably get into the later jackets, but that's it.
Do you? Well, what years were you in the Army?
I joined in 85.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
Hey,
shit!
bogey.
Wait, that's
same-
when you joined, Fleek,
same year I went in.
Yeah. See? Maybe we
and you
crossed
got out in.
I'm sure.
I got out in 98.
So
Damn.
hey, wait a second. When were you in Korea? 'Cause I went to Korea also.
87.
So I was in Korea in 80.
April and November. We went 2 different times that same year.
What part of Korea do you remember?
Taegu, and I think the other one started with a Y.
Ying Pong.
Okay.
Pong.
I was in Busan. I was in Busan about the
Sorry.
same time.
Oh, that sounds familiar though.
And Pusan, Incheon, Chosin Reservoir. Korean War. Yes, it does. Yes, Pusan does sound familiar.
Okay. See,
Wait,
I'm
so-
not as
no,
educated
no.
as I seem.
in the Marine Corps, you learn all the ranks, you learn your general orders, and you learn the big battles. And they always do it in an acronym form: PIC, P-I-C, Pusan, Incheon, Chosin Reservoir. And that's how I remember it. And that's when we got flak jackets and boots because it was so damn cold. So thank you, Army, and thank you, Marine Corps, for serving and giving us flak jackets and warm boots.
Well, I will just so that I'm not too much of the enemy over here in Army land, but my dad
No.
was in the Navy.
Hey, all right. My dad was in the Navy too.
He served on the USS Forrestal.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Was he there when it caught on fire?
No, I think he got out like right before that. Yeah,
Oh, shit.
I think because that was 67. I think, and I
Yeah.
was born in 67, so he was out of the military then.
You're okay. I was born in 77. You're 10 years older than me.
Oh,
You don't,
I just threw that out there, like now everybody knows my age.
seriously, I swear you look way younger
No.
than that.
Thank you. So
Wow.
I have our whole family is filled with military. When I was in my master's program for counseling, we did like this family of origin tree, and I was like, oh my gosh, like no wonder I just kind of joined. Like it's so in our family, like almost everybody, at least the males. I think there was one. I was the first female in our family too, but there's I think one other one that went to Air Force too. So anyway, so we come from a long line of, and my cousin actually retired from the Marines. So
Hoorah.
yeah, y'all need to have him on.
Yeah.
send
Actually,
him our way.
that'd be 20. He did what, 20 years in the Marines?
Yeah, he's
Is he gung ho? Is he a hard charger?
I was trying to think of the right word, but yes.
A motard.
Hey, easy. I'm the motard of the group.
Yeah, he's up in Kansas, so yeah.
Okay, Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City,
No,
Missouri?
just Kansas, the state. I
Oh,
can't
okay.
remember. It's a small little town that he has a little farm there, and yeah.
And you live where in Arkansas do you live?
The northwest corner. So Fayetteville. Have you heard of the
Oh.
Razorbacks?
Yeah.
Oh,
So you're a
yeah.
college
We're
town.
not that great, but in much.
Well,
track and field, maybe.
Yeah.
Fleek has another podcast called the Nosebleed Report, and so he'll probably do some research on the Razorbacks if you let him. He's
Have
probably
you done
doing
any
it right now
research on the Razorbacks?
I have not, but didn't they just get a new coach?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not too long ago.
He was from Kentucky,
Fleek,
I do believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. My husband's from Louisiana, and he's a big LSU and Saints fan, so he could talk some football now. But
What parish is he from?
Let me think. Avoyles.
Okay. Sorry, I've got
I'm sure I didn't pronounce that
a bunch of good VFW guys in Louisiana. Bobby Laverne, if you're there, if you're watching, he's the past state department commander of Louisiana. Who dat?
Oh my God.
No, seriously. I do that every time I see Bobby, and I will yell that in a room of like 400 people. Who dat?
That's funny. Yeah. Well, and so after I've served 3 years in NATO, I re-enlisted on actually a Navy ship. I was trying to think of the name of it, and I cannot think. They would pull into port all the time, and there was one there about the time I was re-enlisting, and I was like, I think I want to re-enlist on a ship. And so they just treated me like, I guess I shouldn't, like queen. What's the Army equivalent of or a Navy equivalent of a queen for the day? But it was like special treatment. I got to sit in the captain's seat.
King Neptune's wife?
They yeah, something special, but they really went all out, and it was really
that is really cool.
Yeah, it was a really neat experience. So they just took our whole office and anybody else that I wanted to invite, and we got the whole tour of the ship, and the captain let me sit in his chair and take some pictures, and it was a great thing.
Fleek and I, we love ship life. We love it. I do. No, I'm not being facetious. I really do love being on a ship. I mean, it was just so easy.
I think I would like it too. I don't know about, how long I could go, but I could probably at least make it 3 months.
Well, we
6
did.
Seems kind of long.
7 months at sea.
Oh, wow.
Well, we did 7 months, but you pull in a port during that time. The longest we ever were in the middle of the ocean without stopping was 107 days.
Yeah, when we went from Dubai to Bangladesh, that was the longest we were on ship.
Chief Freeman says he doesn't miss it at all.
Yeah, Chief.
He's a liar.
You're a liar. You're a liar, Paul. Liar. Pants on fire
so
for that
means
man.
He's never talked about it since he's left.
No, he talks about it all. He talks about it as much as Fleek does about his ship that he was on, the USS Carl Vinson CVN 70, which Fleek, I even mentioned your ship the other day to another would-be VFW member.
Was
another
he
Navy guy. Yep.
Yeah, right on.
He's like, I love the Carl Vinson. I'm like, I've got a guy that you can talk to.
Carl Vinson was a great duty, man. Look, you just saw her in the background sailing by.
That's right. That's right. I mean, I miss the queer barge. I really do.
The queer barge.
USS Kearsarge. We used to call it the queer barge. I don't know why.
Just because
Healy, do you have any like really cool like stories of like in Naples or Korea or wherever you like? Do you have any like cool like
Did you ever
positive
get
things.
super drunk on wine and like throw up on something?
There you go.
Well, I was a single parent at the time I was in Naples, so I tried to be responsible.
How does that work being in the military, being a single parent? That's got to be pretty tough.
Yeah, it ended up being the reason I got out, because I really did want to retire from it. But the deployments were getting pretty rough, so I ended up, and he was starting to act up and stuff, just because my last duty station, I worked a lot of hours, like longer than the normal. And so called in early, just doing lots of things. So it was getting really hard on him and me. And that's why we ended up like saying, I don't think I can do 20, which broke my heart, especially after 9/11. Like I wanted to go back in so bad. But he was the reason I didn't. So
did he come with you like to your different duty stations?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It was great. They have great child care facilities.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about child care.
Yeah. They so Naples was probably the most stable place that I was, that didn't I had to do like I worked for a communication security division, so we carried crypto, or I did while I was there, carried the crypto material to different countries like former Yugoslavia and Turkey and throughout Italy, which was a blast. But for that, I had to have someone to watch him, because that would take a few days to do. And then they would have guard duty, which you had to do for a 24-hour shift. So I had to have people, and I ended up just asking the people at the daycare, because they loved him and they were just so great. And so they were happy to keep him, and he was happy being with them. So that was the best place for him to be. I was stationed down in Fort Huachuca, Arizona, and that was much harder, because they would just call me in. I was in charge of the mailroom down there. That was a surprise. I wasn't supposed to do that, but they ended up needing somebody, and then found out I had fire. Yeah. And then here, be in charge of this mailroom. That's a total disaster. Like, sure. And then, so I had to work weekends. I had to work late evenings. They called me in sometimes at, weird hours, and it was hard. So
I can't even imagine. I mean, I was a grunt, so I just, your MOS, I just can't fathom. Like, you have to take care of the mail for like what, 70, 80,000 people?
Yeah, at
That's
Fort
crazy.
Was about 6,000 students, because they had training. It was the 111th Military Intelligence place that was there, or brigade, or I'm not even sure, company, whatever it was called. They had all the students coming in and learning MI there. So we had mail for all of them. So it was hard but I didn't do mail. I did mail in the reserve for part of my time in the reserve. And then I went back to the administrative work, and I did that throughout my active duty time. I tried to do broadcast journalism. I applied for that, but they said they didn't have any slots. So I stayed in admin. But Arizona, I was supposed to go there and do admin and have this. It was supposed to be a great gig. And then I got there and they said, surprise. Oh, it was so hard.
Well, but I'll tell you one thing. When I saw the C-2 landing on the deck of the aircraft carrier, C-2 is the plane that brought our mail on, you would have been the best person on the entire freaking ship.
Yeah. We love our mail.
Yeah.
We love our mail.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, in Korea, that was the thing too. I mean, Arizona wasn't too hyped up, but when we went and helped out the postal clerks and mail rooms in Korea, they were they liked us, and we're grateful for the help. And everybody loves getting mail. I mean, remember at basic training when you got mail? Like,
oh God.
basic training when you're deployed. It's the best.
Senior drill
best
instructor
ever.
square away Sundays. You get to open your mail, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God, my dad's still alive. Yay! And, yeah.
My family used to send me VHS tapes of all the sitcoms.
What?
When I was in Italy, yeah, because there was only one English station, AFN, and it had good stuff on it.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
the rest
AFN.
of the time.
The Armed Forces Network, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, I haven't
I
watched
wanted to
that
be
in
a
a
part
whole
of them.
time.
We used to watch Mickey Mouse, but he would speak Korean when we were in Busan. It's like, what the crap?
I know.
One Tree Hill and Dawson's Creek. We were really big fans of that stuff on ship. Like we watched every rom-com. I mean, it was just disgusting. Like we watched everything.
What years were you in, Andrew?
04 to 08.
Yeah, he's a boot to us, Healy.
I am. I'm a boot to both of you.
Yeah,
1985. I was 9 years old when you guys took your oaths. Okay.
If she went in at 85, that puts us about the same age, and she looks a hell of a lot better than I do.
Yeah, she does. She does. She looks way better than you, dude. You look just like Santa Claus.
I don't have to shave. At least not yet.
Well, just Fleek has been growing this thing for like ever.
For a little bit.
Yeah, that's an important thing right there.
Yeah. Well, it looks better than 3 years ago when we were together.
I didn't even have to fill out a request chip for this.
Now that was when I don't know if you experienced this, but when I first got out and was living on my own, it's like it was weird to like first go outside and not have to put on a hat, but also not ask somebody for permission to go visit something.
Can I go to the head? No, you can't.
Or I'm going to go visit my parents out of town for the weekend. Is that okay? Like, it was just weird. Like, I suddenly have all these choices to go.
Did you guys have to do like the MapQuest thing like if you were going for like a 72 or a 96 or something like that?
No, we didn't have MapQuest back then.
Oh, you guys didn't have MapQuest back then.
I was going to say, Richard, you have to tell them about these things.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't have the internet.
Like, what the hell's MapQuest, man?
Dude, no, like it plans your route. You have to give it to your squad leader.
We know what it is. They just didn't have it when we were in the military.
Yeah. We didn't have, hey, Andrew, we didn't even have cell phones, buddy.
98. Come on. Well,
at 98, I did get a cell phone.
You had a cell phone. Fleek, you had like a rotary phone.
But I didn't have any cell phones in the military because I didn't get one till I got out.
Yeah. Same.
And then I only had 15 minutes to be able to use, on a plane.
I had one, but we weren't allowed to bring it on deployment. We had to use SATCOM.
That's interesting.
Chief Paul has another question for you. Have you seen an increase or decrease in PTSD cases?
I personally have seen a decrease in them, but that doesn't mean there is a decrease because the VA does offer benefits of that, and they have upped that a lot lately. And so let's see, when did I start my practice? Maybe 12, 13 or something like that, somewhere along that time frame. That's why they were doing training of private counselors, because I don't think the VA could handle that. So they were some overflow of that, and if insurance covers it, then. But so for me personally, a decrease, and but I think the VA, and I don't know the stats on that, but I would think the VA is seeing more because at least here locally, they have expanded their psychology department, or I don't know what they call it, but
psychiatric.
But yeah, there you go, where they see.
Sorry. Okay.
I told you.
Listen, Doc, my dad was a psychiatrist, so I got the whole rundown growing up. Like, Dad would interrogate me. Mom was a lawyer. Dad was a doctor. So, Mom, I was very scared of her because she was a disciplinarian. Dad would just talk to me like, "So, how was your day, son?" I'm like, Oh,
Was he
so I got it for
analyzing you?
both. Dad, yeah, God rest his soul. He analyzed me from like day one.
See, Andrew was privileged. He grew up in a very influential family.
It sounds
Okay,
like
it's not
Listen,
that influential. Well, maybe
Al
in
Gore
history,
was
yes.
Al Gore himself was in your house.
I took Al Gore to the bathroom in 1988 by
you
hand.
put that on your resume there.
Yeah.
I have a picture. It's been on my Facebook. It's me and my whole family and Vice President Gore and the senator from New Hampshire. And everybody's smiling in the picture. It's 06 in the morning, and you see my ugly mug in the back, and I am not smiling because I do not want to be there at all.
Okay, let me tell you a neat story about
Al Gore, please.
Al Gore.
No,
Tell
but
me
it's the
a funny
president.
story
It's the
about Al
president.
Gore.
Tipper.
No, but it's sort of related to him. So Bill Clinton came to Fort Drum when I was there.
Oh yeah, you're
Oh,
living
nice.
in Arkansas.
So yeah, and my son was about 6 weeks old. I mean, maybe a couple months old. He wasn't very old.
He
And
hit
so I
on you.
dressed him up. They said, "Hey, since you've been to Somalia, we want you to go and be on the, in this area to meet the president." And since I was from Arkansas too, I thought that. So I dressed my son up in some Arkansas jumper,
Nice.
and sure enough, yeah, they. President Clinton held him, and so we snapped a picture.
Wow.
In the yes, isn't that
That's
great? Oh, that was in the local paper too up there.
Did he hit on you?
Slick Willie. Slick Willie.
Italy. Well,
Did he have one of his guards come back and slide you a note?
Shut up. Oh man, Slick Willie. That's actually pretty cool, Healy. That's
Yeah,
yes,
that is
that
very cool.
was really neat. So it's a picture I like to share on Facebook every now and again, just to say,
that's
"Hey,
awesome.
yeah, that's fun." So yeah, well, I think you asked about some cool stories in Italy. I'll share a few. So one of the people that I met was in the Navy. He was a Navy chief, and we were at orientation together. So
Was
we
it
all
Paul
went.
Freeman?
No. So it was a bunch of Navy people and an Army person, and we went downtown. This was within just a couple days being in Naples, and his wife had a purse that was at an angle over how you're supposed to wear them.
Yeah.
And so guys went by on a moped and in downtown Naples and grabbed that purse off her side. So it was connected to her. And I mean, it started pulling her, and then the thing ripped, and they stole. That was my first impression of Italy or Naples, and getting robbed right in front of our faces. We're all like, "Oh, it happened so fast we didn't even know." So that's what they did was, ride by, and so you had to be very careful.
Hooligans, those Napoleons,
yeah.
Neapolitans, right?
I don't know.
I don't know what that many Naples people, whatever they're called.
So they had a high crime rate in downtown Naples, and so from that point on, I was like, I had a mean look on my face.
Right.
Do anybody even give me the side eye? Like I'm like, oh God.
Okay, that's scary. Don't do that again. That was kind of scary.
This is the most Paul Freeman question ever. Are you ready for this one?
All right.
Paul loves pizza.
Oh. Yeah, it's better than Chicago, dude.
Oh.
I've had pizza from Naples, and it's better than Chicago.
It's
sorry
the best.
to ask.
It's seriously the best. Yeah.
Was it like what do you call it? Neapolitan? Wait.
It's
Neapolitan, right? Neapolitan.
Yeah, I swear that's what it is.
So they did the Firestone where they put the dough in there, and it's really light on the toppings. It's not like
real mozzarella.
Yeah.
Oh wait, they say it different though. Mozzarella.
But they don't have a whole lot of toppings, so it's not like it's covered. It's just everything is so fresh and tasty that it's. Oh
yeah, the fresh tomatoes there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I only off subject. I only buy San Marzano tomatoes.
Nice.
They are amazing. It's San Marzano, Italy. They are amazing. It's the only tomato I'll buy that's canned tomato.
Yeah.
It's a game changer.
Yeah. So
I loved Italy. I didn't go when I was in the service, but I did go in 1989 with my parents. We went to Venice and Padua and Vicenza and Venice and Milan.
Wow.
And Tuscany, and it was just really nice. And my wife and I, we definitely need to go back there. What? Why are you laughing, Flake?
Because
How old
Paul,
were you?
Hey, Paul keeps asking these questions. Here's another
89.
one for you.
I was like, I don't know, 11, 12.
Paul likes to eat. What can I say?
I can't testify to the cannolis.
Yes, Paul, they are good. Okay, I can answer her. I can answer that for her. Yes, the cannolis are very good, especially in Venice and Rome. And I've been to Rome twice, so I love Italy. I love it.
Yes, we went. My husband and I went for our 10-year anniversary, and we got to go back. And
beautiful.
It was like a very full circle for me to be able to get to visit again and just show him the places that I had been before. And it was really special. So, and I got to eat all the food. I was like, okay, I got to try this. I got to eat this and this and this. I didn't even eat a cannoli.
Did you learn any Italian while you were either serving there or when you came back for your 10-year reunion?
10-year reunion. I may have been picking up things like hearing it reminded me of stuff. When I lived there, though, I could shop, buy gas, buy things, ask the price, negotiate. I could
did you
order
ever
a few food things, but could I talk it? No.
Did you ever get to travel to the Vatican?
Yes.
How was that?
That was wonderful.
Damn.
I tried to film in there. Here's one of my stories.
Did you get in trouble?
So yes,
the Swiss Guard will take care of you.
They did, of course, because this was what year was that? Like probably 95 or something. But I had just slung my camera over my back so it's pointing up.
Why aren't you
I did get a little.
How come you're not allowed to film in there?
I think it's kind of sacred or something.
And it's another country. Like it's not Italy. It's
its own
Vatican.
country.
Yeah,
right?
it is
its own country. So they have the rules.
Yeah.
Any Catholics out there know why we can't film anyone? You guys
I'm a Catholic, but I'm an idiot. So
I'm gonna guess it's just because it is a church. Or
could
but
be. Yeah.
I think they did. I mean, they don't want flashes and stuff on that.
I could kind of see the flashes because wouldn't that like wear down like the artwork or something?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the Pope?
Yeah, I got you.
I did not see the Pope. I think we did see someone in our 10-year. Who was that? Someone came walking through the basilica.
A cardinal.
Basilica. Yeah. Well, somebody
cardinal?
It was kind of a big deal, but I can't remember. I'll have to ask myself.
That is,
it was somebody big.
You have had a fascinating life. That is.
Yeah, that is very cool.
I'm like impressed. I'm like, damn.
Oh, thanks.
Did you go to the Pantheon at all?
In
the big in Rome, the big dome building with the big eye up in the center.
Oh, maybe not. I don't think so.
I was a classical studies major.
That's where we went. Yeah, we went on our 10-year to that. Because I think that was one place I hadn't gone when I was stationed there. Yeah,
Colosseum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you see?
My husband loves history, so he.
Can you still walk through the Colosseum, or is it roped off because it's gonna fall apart?
Yeah, it was pretty roped up when I was there. It wasn't because like when I went there in the mid-90s, whatever year I was visiting, it was a lot different. Like even Pompeii, we went to Pompeii in Naples.
You went to Pompeii?
Yeah, and that was back when you could
go
inside everything. And now
79 AD for those guys that don't know.
they had roped everything off, and so you
Ugh.
could go. Yeah, it was a lot different.
Did you see the house? You saw the House of the Fawn?
Yes. So let me tell you, when I was in
Sorry, as a
Naples
classics
the
major,
first
that's like my
time,
mecca.
when I went there
Damn.
the
Yes.
first time, the Pompeii. This was what was most interesting to me. It was like litter everywhere, so a lot of trash on the ground. And this time when we went, there was none. I told my husband, I'm like, wow, they must have had a big, like, I don't know. It was all clean, like there was nothing on the ground. And before it was like trash. I mean, I've got pictures just of, you know, people just throw their stuff down, didn't think anything of it, but they must have had a revolution in Naples where we don't throw trash down anymore.
Did you see the ash sculptures of like the people?
Yeah.
I'm so jealous of you right now.
Yeah.
So jealous.
Okay, here's another.
Uh-oh.
Listen to this. So my son was 6 months old, and we just got to Italy, and so one of our little outings we climbed Mount Vesuvio. So I had him strapped to my back and climbed the Mount Vesuvio. It was the bomb.
Now you know what? You just need to stop talking right now
I
because
know.
you're getting me very irate right now in my head.
Hey, Andrew, I don't get to share these kind of
No, I think that is like the coolest thing.
I'm getting excited.
That is the coolest thing. I studied Latin, I studied ancient Greek, I studied the Romans, I studied the Greeks. And what you have seen, I have yet to go to Pompeii, and I studied it for 4 years. And I have never even been there. I've been to Ephesus, Turkey. I've been to Athens, Greece, but I've never been to Pompeii. Pompeii is on one of my lists to go.
I think there's another ruins that's right near there, the Herculaneum.
Herculaneum and Ostia, yes, those two towns, yes.
Yeah.
What? I studied it for 4 years, man.
Andrew knows everything. Have you ever made it down to have you ever made it down to Malta?
I have.
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Yeah, we went there on our 10-year.
Malta sounds amazing.
That was my second port. And by the way, the men, they wear capri pants. Every single man that I saw was wearing capri pants. It was just very disturbing. Very disturbing.
Now that's a culture to study right there. They've got some cool history.
The beer is called Chisk, and it was not so good. It tasted like, I don't know, like a little hoppy with formaldehyde. It was just kind of gross.
That sounds amazing.
I wouldn't know.
No, Malta. I mean, Malta was cool. Malta, Dubai, Malta. Didn't go to Italy, but we did go to Bangladesh, and we went to Kuwait, Suda Bay, Greece. We weren't allowed off the boat in Suda Bay. We had beer on the pier because, we got in trouble. In every port that we were at, all of my guys got in trouble. So we were very bad infantry guys. I mean, when it came to that third deployment, the first two were fine. Third deployment, it was like our vacation, and we went to town.
Drunk shit, man.
Dude, 6 days, every single port, officers got in trouble, enlisted got in trouble. I mean, it was just like, okay, who's next?
Paul has another question.
Oh,
he's being very interactive today. He wants to know about what your opinion is on psychedelics.
That's a good question, Paul.
I can say I don't really have an opinion on that. But just winging it, I guess, I would say I think there are ways to work, and this is kind of my approach in any mental health issue. There are ways to work through things that you don't have to take medication for. I mean, sometimes it's needed, but if you really are willing and able to do the hard work, you can do the things that change your brain the same way that the medications do. So I'm naturally just a person that promotes do the hard work.
Yep.
Your brain.
Completely agree with you.
Yeah,
doctor.
Your brain will your brain will adjust and make the changes that it needs to make.
Healy, I've been off meds for 4 years since I went to Save a Warrior. Haven't I used to be on trazodone, citalopram, and mirtazapine. I haven't taken that stuff in 4 years. I am living a happy, joyous, and free life. Help thanks to this program, which saved my life. But having a great counselor, um, doing the group, I got better with group dynamic. I've done EMDR, I've done CBT, I've done exposure therapy. Pretty much any therapy that I've done it, but I haven't excelled at it. Group therapy was it got me over the hump, and AA really helped me out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think when people hear stories like that, it can give them hope because, well, we need hope to even be willing to make a change or to think we can make a change. Yeah. And sometimes people just need to hear that to go, you can do it. It's hard, but you can do it and it's worth it in the end.
It's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
I have like a clinical question for you.
Okay.
Let's say, 2-3 o'clock in the morning, my phone rings. One of my friends or somebody that was in the military is having dark thoughts and is contemplating suicide. What do I say to them to talk them off the ledge before I can get them help? I know obviously they say whatever you do, don't let them hang up the phone. But like, what kind of words can I tell somebody in the moment?
Well, one of the things that I tell people, and I don't know if this would be good in the moment because I don't know. I've been on those calls too, and I think they're very hard. And knowing the person in particular, like what do they have to live for in particular, you can pick those things. But one thing I remind clients in counseling the most is that emotions, feelings are very fickle and they will change if you give them enough time or make some effort to make them change. So, encouraging them to actually do something. So, if like even listening to some music helps them feel better, that something as simple as that can help. But that's, sometimes we believe that our emotions tell us the truth and that's not true. They often are deceiving. They tell us we have no hope when there is hope. They tell us no one cares when people do care. They tell us we're not loved when we are loved. So it's if people can just get this, don't trust your feelings, especially if you're making big decisions, definitely don't trust them because they can be very inaccurate and false. And yeah. So, I mean, that's more of a skill they need to just know that before. But when I was talking to someone on the phone once, that was one of the things that there was a show that they loved to watch that would always make them laugh. And so we made sure that was on and that, yes, I stayed on the phone and that there was somebody else there. And so all the basic things that, but I will say that most of the time when people say they want to die, because I question when people who come to me with suicide ideation or have tried, have attempted, or will always ask this question because I heard this in training once, and I now believe it's true. That do you really want to die, or are you just tired of feeling this way? You just don't want to feel this way anymore.
That's a great question right there.
Yeah. So if you don't want to feel this way, we can change that. Because most people don't want to die. We have a natural instinct to want to live, even if things aren't perfect. We kind of intuitively know that things will change. But that's the question that I've started asking since that training. And it has helped people a lot because they haven't thought of that before, of thinking, oh, I don't want to die. I just don't want to feel this way anymore. Like, okay, we can work on that.
Right.
And so that gives hope. And
Blake,
that's
that's
all
going
people
in
need.
the cookbook, man.
Hey, I marked
That's
it.
going in the
I
cookbook.
marked it. Yeah, that was brilliant. I love
That
that
was
answer.
amazing.
It wasn't my. I had learned that in a training, but that was one thing I thought because what they did, they were interviewing people who had actually jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge and lived.
Yeah.
And they asked because everyone that they interviewed that could said the moment they stepped off, they didn't want to die.
Yeah, they instantly regret it. I
Yeah.
read that too.
Yeah. So that's powerful. And I think God has put in us a natural instinct to want to live. We will be willing to lay down our life for someone, but that is different than just willy-nilly laying down your life. Like, we have a natural instinct to want to live. So I think that we have to remind people that they do want to live. They just don't want to feel the way they feel.
Yeah.
So,
amen, sister. Amen.
That was great.
okay.
Is there like a class that a lay person could take to learn stuff like that? Like, so the whole reason I use my podcast and my nonprofit is because I'm trying to prevent veteran suicide by showing camaraderie and sending them to an event with the person, with a mentor, and this podcast is a perfect way to get the word out and listen, like Andrew said, listen to people. But like, I'm not trained, so I don't know. So like, if I could just take like a sort of like a day class, or have you ever heard of anything like that?
You might just Google some classes for like counselors or things like that, because sometimes like there's a place called Light University. As a matter of fact, I know it's not just for counselors too. I think anyone can take it. But there's a place called Light University and the American Association of Christian Counselors, AACC.net. And I think you can link to Light University, but they have, I'm trying to think, have I taken their suicide training? I know I've taken their trauma training, but anyway, I think that's for lay people as well. Yeah. So, and they have all sorts of like where you watch videos and do workbooks and the whole 9 yards. So that's pretty good, and it comes from a faith.
Hey, Fleek, I'm sending it to you right now.
All right, perfect. Thank you, sir.
So yeah, that's the first thing. But I would say I'm pretty sure you can take any class but you might find more if you look for those that are offered for therapists.
Yeah.
And then, but they don't ask you for your license or anything.
Wow.
To take them. So
yeah.
So how can I help your passion, Richard?
Oh man. You can give us some guidance, because we're be honest with you, we're just flying off the seat of our pants. We just came across a good thing, and we're using a gift that God gave us. But be honest with you, when it comes to like the nonprofit side and stuff, like, I'm just doing what I feel is right, but I don't know if I'm doing it the right way, or I don't. So to be honest with you, any guidance would be super appreciative.
We probably need to add the mental, someone, that's learned in mental health, probably in Minutes Wisely. Maybe we need to get that aspect.
Yeah.
And maybe Healy would like to be on the board. What do you think?
Maybe so.
Yeah,
I think so.
I have a board. So when it first started, I was doing all the work by myself, but then it became a lot, and I knew that I didn't want it to go away, and I didn't want to get burned out. So I started a board. So there's like 9 of us now that do this, and we meet once a month, but we could definitely somehow put you on like a Zoom call or something to join in.
Well, I'd be happy to help. I love helping veterans. I don't see as many as I used to, and I think that's just locally the VA's beefed up their the number of counselors that they have to help people. So, but I'm happy to help in any way that I can.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I'm sorry. I just,
Oh no,
we have her right here. We might as well just ask her.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'll tell you what I can do. I do have and I hope it's okay if I plug this, but I'd like
No,
to
go ahead. Plug away.
It's your show.
Yeah, it is your show. Plug away.
Oh, thank you. Well, one of the resources that I created is a workbook. It's called Changing Your Feelings, and it is I basically created it for those experiencing anxiety and worry because that I see the most of that nowadays.
We have a lot of people that need that book.
Yeah, so if I can provide that, it's written from a Christian perspective, and I kind of did it in a format where it's kind of like going to counseling. So the beginning steps are, how's life? How are you experiencing this? And then a little educational stuff, and then it just kind of walks through panic attacks, worry. I mean, the whole 9 yards. So.
Healy, I'm about in September. I'm actually my priest has asked me to help out with starting a veterans ministry at our church, and I think that would be very, very helpful to the group setting. And I would love to know how I can purchase it or get my hands on it so I can use it.
Definitely.
And even Fleek, you're not a part of the church, but you can come to the veterans ministry. And when it starts in September, I would love to have you there, man.
Oh yeah.
So I can it's on Amazon, but
Okay.
that's full retail, but I can send a link with a discounted price and or it's kind of large, but I could probably send like sections of the book in PDF if you'd like.
Sure.
You probably
Whatever's easiest for you.
Yeah. So yeah.
Do you ever
That
make
would
it to like the Nashville area?
Well, they used to have they have the World Conference for Christian Counselors there in Nashville, or they had for several years. I think last year they changed it, but
yeah, the Baptist Church is on 10th Street.
I
know exactly where it is.
I was going to Nashville every other year for the counseling conference, but since COVID, I haven't.
Yeah.
I'm going to one in Dallas this year instead.
So if you're ever in Nashville, would love to have you come by and talk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd love that. Yeah.
That
would be great. So I guess I was asking that too, so I can, if something like the workbook can help, I can't I don't know that I could afford a whole bunch, but I could afford like some to give and for if that would be of help.
No.
Yeah.
No. We'll take care of that. Well, that's fine.
Okay.
Or maybe you can come.
I was just I want to help some way.
Or maybe you can do a live and come to one of our post meetings or district meeting, because now I will be the District 5 commander of the VFW in Tennessee. Maybe come talk to us about what you're doing. We have 4 meetings. Our post, sorry, Commander. Our post has 10 meetings in the year, and district has 4. But we'd love to hear what you have to say.
What's the name of your workbook?
It's called Changing Your Feelings.
Changing Your Feelings.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
So it's pretty thick, but let me tell you some sections in it, and that's why I'm.
Oh, I think I can afford $20.
Well, it should be $16.95.
Yeah, $16.95. It's $16.95. Yes. Buy a copy.
Exploring anxiety in the brain, coping skills, renewing your mind, created in His image, panic attacks, worries.
Changing Your Feelings, a workbook for anxiety and worry from a Christian's perspective. Healy Ikerd. There it is.
My dog.
That's me.
Falling through the door.
So so I can help.
I can get on Kindle. Yes,
that's right. How much is it on Kindle?
$2.99 for an ebook. I just got a new Kindle, so I'm buying it right now.
Okay, so let me know how you like it, or if you like it. A lot of people have found it helpful. So I hope.
$2.99 Kindle.
Yeah. So
I have a Nook though. Are you on Barnes and Noble?
oh yes, yes, it is on Barnes and Noble.
Oh, it is? Oh,
yeah, it should be if it's not. but I think last
oh yeah.
it should be there. Yeah.
I really don't use my ebook anyway, so I think I'll just buy the paperback.
Well, hey, listen, Fleek. Katrina just bought me. It's called the Kindle Whisper. It's a notepad, and it keeps all of your books. It's
Oh
awesome,
wow.
and it's way cheaper than the Remarkable thing. So I have it. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I could probably just
That's
put
good.
the app on my iPad too.
Yeah. Well, I encourage people, and that's why I did it on just for it to be cheaper. I did it on the ebook and just encourage people to just have a journal with them because
Yeah.
there are exercises. So it's not just a read and then you're more knowledgeable. It is a do these things like
I just got it.
it's work.
Very excited.
Thank you. So I hope that it's helpful, and I'm happy to help other veterans access if they, especially for anxiety, trauma. You can't really get a workbook for that. I mean, I think there are, but it's much. Trauma is one of those that's much more helpful to work with somebody or in community, just because that's sometimes there's a lot of other emotions involved that it helps in working that out in community. So anyway.
Well, we've been talking for an hour and 12 minutes. I think it's time. Yeah, I know.
Thanks for
Healy, do you this is a saved round for tonight. Do you have any words of wisdom to the man or woman that is signing on the dotted line, taking that oath and getting ready to go to boot camp or OCS?
Well, I first thank you for your service to this country. I don't know. Sometimes we go in with weird or different ideas about what the military is, but there is something that is so special about it. And I hope that people recognize that, even those that, go in for the education or whatever, to still remember that it's honorable and it's an honor, and to definitely remember that, because the military has a lot to teach us, and I'm so thankful for it. One of the things that I always write out on Facebook for Memorial Day is, not every military member gave their life, but everyone was willing to. And that's big. I mean, that to me is like Jesus. I mean, he was willing to give his life for us. And so when people sign on that line, that they're willing to do that for others that they don't even know. So that's a big deal. I'm very thankful for that. I think everybody should join, frankly.
I think so too.
Dude, that was good.
I got a lot out of it.
Man, that should have been a sermon of yours today. Man, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
And also, when you're in boot camp, don't write your recruiter a hateful letter.
Hey, you should have said it was going to be like camp. I mean, that's a little bit much.
I was mad at mine. He took my scooter. Like, I gave him my scooter. I was like, hey, see ya, take care of this. And I never saw him again. He's like, yeah, why don't you go be a machine gunner? Because I was a machine gunner. I'm like, okay, that sounds cool.
Exactly. Did he give me a long list of things I could choose from? No, he just said, sign here. You're going to love it.
He effed me up, man. He did. Thank you, Staff
But God
Sergeant.
uses it all for good. And that's where at the end of the day, we know it was for good.
I want to, before we end, I just want to let you know that before you hopped on, I told Andrew, I was like, man, I'm exhausted. Like, as soon as this let's not do a long one today. And he's like, yeah, I'm exhausted too. And here we are at almost an hour and 20 minutes.
We were supposed to cut you off like 30 minutes ago, and we're like,
but we're also like, if it's interesting, just keep it going. But I gotta tell you, man, your episode was amazing. I love talking to you. And we didn't get our things out in the beginning, announcements in the beginning. So
that's okay. They'll see you next
I just want to say we have a golf outing coming up in 9/11. We already have a couple sponsors already signed up for it. It's going to be a great event. 9/11 here in Middle Tennessee. Look us up if you're in the area. If you like to golf, you want to travel down here, come and see us. Healy, I want to say thank you for your service to our beautiful country.
Yes.
Thank you for what you're doing today, helping people out. Thank you for coming on our show and telling your story, because frankly, we don't get a lot of females, and I love when we get the female perspective. It's awesome. I love it.
Agreed.
Well, I want to say thank you guys very much for having me. And, it's a real honor for those of us who don't get to talk about our military background much. Like, I really love when people ask me questions just out on the street. Like, it's a lot of fun. So I think that's great that you guys are giving people an opportunity, to just share their story and I don't know. It's like, we're proud of our service, and
for sure.
It's nice to share it with people. So thanks for being there to let people.
And it's cathartic to share
Yeah.
your story. It sometimes brings a little bit of, I'm going to use a clinical term, closure on some issues that, we've had guests that they were very nervous in the beginning, and then they wouldn't shut up after like an hour and a half. Okay, hey, whoa, okay, we're going over a little bit, but thank you for sharing. But sometimes it just opens people up.
And a lot of times we get, well, my story's not that good, so you don't want to hear it. I'm like, well, trust me, we will get your story out. And then when they come on, we're at the end, we're like, hey, I thought your story sucked, man. What
the hell? Amazing thing.
Military's not boring. There's no way.
There is no boring job. All jobs are essential. Even though, like, when I was, the first year, grunts are everything and everyone else sucks. Well, that is not true. We all are part of a wheel. We're all a cog, and we all fit in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so the YouTube portion was live, so you can go back and send it to anybody you want. But the audio podcast will be live tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. I can email you the links, and you can send it out to whoever you want, and everybody can hear you talk.
Okay. That might make me a little nervous, but
thank you,
man. Gotta get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I tell people every day.
All right, stick around for 1 second while I end the show. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. See you guys next Sunday. Peace and love.
Peace.